You are listening to the Manifesting God podcast with your host, Marie Elizabeth. This podcast will uplift and thrust you into the manifestation of the promises of God in your life. Manifesting God podcast. Elizabeth, so glad to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me. But before I get started, so that you can not only understanding to make of understanding and of application and pushing Let's get back to that. I'll talk to you today about of the work. The work. And this is for builders, this is for visionaries, this is to start. But already this is the person who said yes, but now you're because it's not looking like I thought it should look. It's there. Let's go to Haggai 2:1-3. And it says there, who, some water, is left among you that saw this house in her first glory? And how do you see it now? Haggai 2:3 says, see here, God is addressing the builders of and begin rebuilding what can be destroyed. And emphasis on Haggai 2:1-3 because I want to zero in. In this moment, thereby addressing is in this moment. See, the work is happening. Nothing is happening, but because it doesn't quite right? And God, He's not ignoring perception versus purpose. So what you're building is not going to look like it did before, and it's not supposed to. God always He likes well in the past. You and there are nothing. This is taken to the people in outside, people learning to what God did before. And yet, here we are again. And see, if you raise the same question, why are they comparing what they are now building to what they may never have actually seen? differently. Some of us are discouraged by the expectations that we actually inherited, not the instructions that God gave us. What is God saying to you today? What is God saying to you today that you're confusing what you're building that because it doesn't look like yesterday's look, I'm going to ignore the new thing that God is doing because it's not meeting my expectations. It's not. The discouragement question comes in Psalms 42 and 5. Where you cast down, oh my soul. With me. The phrase cast down there is the image of a sheep that slips in the that's unable to right itself. This is what God is basically asking them in Haggai 2 and 3. You know, I think sometimes my husband actually says to my children, don't get upset or don't get worried until you're worried about a situation. If I'm the things that maybe a children have never seen. Why are you discouraged about the direction that God is leading us in and still causing us to build or to when God's the one that told you to build, He's the one that instructed them to build. So if you're not complaining, how are they complaining? What? The question that when you're actively what are you suffering emotionally in your mind? What are you suffering in your mind? What are you suffering when you are actively emotionally? What you can see and notion or image do you have that has you stuck emotionally? What is God really challenging here when He's talking to them? He's challenging because discouragement often comes when the work doesn't. When the vision God brings us starts looking different, once it hits reality, once it actually starts to manifest. Those promises of God, when they actually start to manifest, it doesn't look like what you imagine. God is challenging. When obedience, then the expectation. When the obedience feels smaller than the expectation that God is trying to change. It's our perception that God is trying to show us that is not aligning with the truth of what He has put inside of us. When what God is challenging when things don't look like what we want it to look like. First, it's perception. But then, how about this? We feel attached to the because the part of that planet that was staring backwards, that's not going to get the new thing, you have to first thing, even if it was good. How about this? Because you might be doing a new thing. Are you able to let go of the thing that God had us to do yesterday to do the thing that He would have us to do today? I will never forget when I was younger, I was really identified with my feelings. I was identified with the fact that I was identified with the fact that I could hear God and write music, hear God and sing music. I was identified with it. And it took me, and it was now time to speak the word and speak the word, didn't let go of the singing part of me. And then when I finally realized I needed to let it go, I just missed it. When I wasn't supposed to, what experience, when I wasn't supposed to just listen, it was the thing that God called me. They both couldn't let go of the second part of me, which the because it was the thing that I was comfortable with. These people were effective, but I needed to transition to the next step, and I was having a hard time transitioning. I didn't realize it. Then I went extreme. I went to do the initial thing, the spiritual, that was actually the time to get there that he gave me. To the point where I had to go get vocal coaches to help me confident to bring it just because I didn't understand that I don't have to. God is not. He wasn't asking them to throw away. That God did in the initial temple. And he was trying to do a new thing in them. But they didn't have the commitment that maybe their ancestors had in that time. Because they weren't mature enough. Doing a new thing in them so that they can touch, so that they can move when the foundation was like, then they started doing through them. How many of you have ever and you walk around and go back and pick it up and God had to make you that thing back to you at the point that he initially gave it to you and add to, or you because it didn't match what God told them, but it matched what you put it aside because it didn't look like. And they were looking. So then the children are like, yeah, this don't look like. Then neither one of them really knew the place to be looking for. To get that new thing, again, you have to leave behind that preconceived idea of what that new thing should look like. Because it's not going to look like the old thing. It's not this year. This year now started with Jubilee language. But if you're honest, you know, we kind of can't think of the Jubilee language that we were using before. Because so the conversation starts like that. Next thing you know, that thing spread. Even but you tired, they don't even hear. They don't even know what it looks like. Even when I was out as a child, and my parents walked in, I don't know what that looks like. I was a child. Now here I am, and I can't run it what it might have looked like to them because people of matter is all in the I wouldn't know what it could be. There, and that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that our parents missed it. So before you start saying, well, they're the ones that you, your perspective needs to shift. It needs to align with what God is saying to you. This is what Haggai in 2:4, he be strong, be strong 3 times and work. For I am with you. Notice this. God doesn't tell them, feel better. It's going to be all right. Woo, woo, woo. He tells them, be strong and get to work. So God said, we're not even going to deal with your emotions. I'm going to deal with your deal. And because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth is speaking, and the mouth is not speaking right now. It's because it's not speaking, it's not what you're doing is off. You're listening. That means you're not listening to the word. You're not listening to the word alignment. It's scripture. It's about you and Jesus. So that's why you have to tell them, be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. And get the word. I'm not going to get your emotions. That's people. I'm going to address when you apply your. That would be the obedience. You're not applying your. You're protected. So here's the key. Zerubbabel. They weren't doing God's work, but their assignment is to them. But their work is different. Each of them have different rules of engagement because you had to realign them, reorder them. They were, yes, Zerubbabel was the yes, Joshua was the high priest of the world. His work was missing. Wasn't aligning with what God. So he had to call them back to their original order. Zerubbabel, let's be clear. Your job is to handle the opposition through the legitimate structures. They won't panic when the systems push back and to engage according to the wisdom. If the people aren't building, so that they can do what they're supposed to do. You have to do what you do. You're supposed to do your job is to address the civil authority. Your job is to address the legitimate systems. Your job is to make sure the kingdom builders don't panic when the system builds. Your job is to address the systems, whether they be, come on, because we're spiritual, whether they be systems of this world or just the enemy system. The people that would visions to be you are the spiritual authority. Your job is to defend the will of God. Your job is to make sure the people aren't guessing. If the people are guessing, where's the spirit? With the will of God. You not reminding them that they're supposed to be building and how they're supposed to be building according to God's instructions. How come you not realigning their perspective with the will of God? Because your perception to the will of God, Mr. and Mrs. Spiritual Authority, get your perception aligned. People will be aligned to the thank God for the great perception has to be aligned to the world, to the world, so that people can be aligned. Thank God. tries. He's trying to re-engage, align you to his. The foundation is misaligned and it's freezing it and it's trapped in it to get that properly placed because the people, it's the spiritual authority of Joshua that's supposed to be aligned with the will of God and the God is essentially saying, I've got someone to deal intercede on your behalf. I got spiritual authority in place to make sure that you stay focused and align with my will. You just keep looking low in the book. Ain't nobody asked you for your conversation. Ain't nobody God is telling you what he's saying. God is telling Joshua what he's telling the leader. You just do it according to the instructions that are handed down to you. The big is handed down to you. Somebody's already dealing with the resistance. They ain't asked you to go and deal with the legalities of the matter, not just. He already told you. Say that brick and cement as if you as you've been told. We got to. We have to have covenant. People, what are you questioning? That's the way you look at that. Why are you not here? Still, no. God still is with you. All your responsibility is when God is with you, He provides protection. There's protection, there's intercession, there is alignment. Your job is not to fight every problem. Your job is to build with protection, with strength, and misaligned when you don't know that you're to build. And everybody builds differently. Joshua by being able to structure is shut down that will come against specific battles he has to fight. Joshua has specific battles. People, they have specific stay connected to God, hear the will of God. Listen, God has promised to He's the temple, He's the promise. Haggai 2:6 God says He will shape everything. It's not about resources, and it's not about ownership. It's not about resources or ownership. God is saying the glory of the latter house is going to be greater than the former. Your peace. I get peace when you follow my instruction. I get peace when you're properly aligned. I get peace when you let my established order dictate to you. I get peace. If you don't have how to handle the legalities and What are you doing over there? You need to go and get a book. If you don't put that book down and get over there where you're dealing with those that are trying to give you 50 billion things that you got to sign to get this, that. We don't get to just because we feel that way. And that's why we're talking about today the will of the work, because His will, God's will is the will, and if our perception, the enemy's will becomes the will of the world. Because we want what we're building is what they're building. And we want what so and so. What we want, we don't. We need it to look like what they're looking, because they're. It's it's looking like And when you start getting to the point where their help things you to do to the point where they need to do. Now we got a problem. Now we don't have no peace in it. We don't have any peace. He told them to do that, and He sent them to be a help to you. You still got to stay with the blueprint that God gave you. So in my close, right? Go back and listen to this again. I was giving listen again. In my what He offers and what He chooses to build His way. If it feels unfamiliar, smaller, if it's slower, you should build it, because God is coming your way. Yes, God's way. You have to keep. There's no other way. The glory is going to. It's just not. I thank you for this timely. Cast down, we crush. Infiltrate the will. That was something that you
foundation of the leader, of the visionary. God, because your will, we open up the heavens and we welcome in your will. Your will. Shut down culture's way. We shut down culture's way. Aligned with your will, our pray this in your precious name. In your precious name. Scan the QR code there. Social media. In the comments. And you donate to this podcast. A link. Download your study guide if you haven't already, and also check out our weekly devotionals there. Further enhance our understanding. Conversation every. You're under the sound of my voice, leader, even layman. That he's put in your. And remember,